Now we're going to look forward to next year. Can we build even more success? Can we ensure that you are truly successful? Because no matter if you're attacking a performance journey alone, if you're coached or you're coaching, or you're a part of the Purple Patch team of athletes, I want to give you 3 things that you can do right now before the New Year, New You rush starts. It's very, very simple, but I think it's absolutely critical. So let's kick it off. Part 1. What can I ask you to do right now that's going to yield to a really beneficial year ahead? It's the most simple thing, it's the most important thing, and it's the thing that's most often skipped over or rushed. Define your vision of success. In my experience, once the year starts next year, it's almost impossible to take the time to come up out of the weeds and define your purpose. Establish really smart goals. Ensure that you know in a year's time when you reflect, have I been successful? Coaches and athletes, leaders, employees, if we look through this, we drive straight into the doing. And that creates havoc later on, because there tends to be misalignment, a lack of clarity, confusion when things go wrong. And let me tell you, even if we are wholly successful in our planning journey, we will have setbacks, adversity. It will be confusing. And if we don't have clarity on where we're heading and what success looks like, you're going to be completely lost. I think this is the anchor point of where so many performance journeys go wrong. And you hear so much about build the roadmap, establish your goals. But the really important component is your vision of success. Why am I doing this? Now is the time to do it, because out of that you create your compass. So these are the sort of questions that you want to address and hopefully answer. What's my purpose? Why am I doing this? These are the answers. The answers from this are going to be the things that drive your commitment and your motivation that emerges from it. Notice that I said commitment first and motivation that emerges. What's my purpose? What is my why? That's a really important first question. The second is, what am I seeking to achieve? And what I mean by that is, in a year's time, when you pause and the whole of your year is done and you look back and you think, what did I do well? What did I maybe not do as well as I could have done? And most importantly, how am I going to plan 2026, the next year? How will I know that I've been successful? What does your vision of success look like? And this could be as a small business owner, it can be as an athlete, it can be as a teacher, it can be as a parent. What am I looking to achieve? So if you've established your why and you understand your vision of success, the third question is then, and it is chronological, then what should my goals be? Because goals are the things that drive your actions. Now, this is really simple for an athlete. Great, this is where I'm looking to go. These are the developmental journeys. What events should I choose to do that are going to help me define my actions that I take to progress me on the journey? And those are going to be really important because those are going to be the compass points, the stepping stones that really help you go there. Let me give you a real example, because this just happened to me this week. I just began working with a time-starved CEO who's got massive demands. He's right in the vortex of a very, very busy part of life, both from his home life as well as work. And his work also includes extensive global travel. He's all over the place, from the Middle East to Australia to America, and he's based in Europe. So he came to me and he said, I've got to change. I've decided to train for a marathon. It's going to be in April. The reason I'm doing it is I need to get back to exercise and I want to drop weight. Now, it was a great conversation, but I encouraged him to think a little deeper, go beyond the finish line of April. And I asked him, what are we actually trying to solve here? Let's broaden the perspective on performance a little bit. See, I love his challenge-driven mindset. I endorse the fact that he wants to shift his body composition. And I love the fact that he wants to integrate regular exercise. But I think that his immediacy, his thinking was a little too narrow. I could almost see the future ahead. Train, 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 ram a training program into life because he's committed to this April thing and I'm tough and committed. But as soon as April ends, right back to square one probably. And so it would be easy for me to say, great, let's do it. April, 20 weeks. I'll build a training program for you. I'll try and keep you healthy. I'll make sure that you're there and you can be successful. But I also think I would be delivering a training program that would include risk. And so after a really good conversation, we started to emerge to a different purpose. You see, this executive's got 2 young kids, both under the age of 5. And at 42, he really wants to ensure that he's active and physically capable when his kids are hitting their teen years. As he said to me, yep, it's true. I don't want to be that dad who can't play with my kids. And so beyond April, my real purpose is to start a journey of transformation where he can integrate sport into life to set himself up for a high-performance life over not just the next 20 weeks, but over the next decade. We also talked about his role as a leader. And he admitted he's very, very tired. He's exhausted a lot. He's not necessarily showing up at his best. And yet he's got a very important role that he wants to excel in. He's got a lot of people that he's responsible for. And so a big driver for this is, yes, you do need to regularly exercise, but not just to get ready for a marathon, but so that you can show up at work not consistently stressed and fatigued, but instead on a daily basis, performance ready. Better energy, better cognitive function, bringing your very best. Knowing that a physical state right now is a contributing factor for his underperformance at work. And so success isn't just losing weight. It's actually showing up every single day, a better version of himself. And that carries real commitment and long-term motivation because it's a tool for him to be a better leader. It's a tool for him to be a better father, not just for the next 4 months, but for the next decade. Now we get somewhere because, yes, under this context, I can now build a program that ensures that we are doing 2 things. Number 1, progressing him on a journey towards the marathon because that's going to aid short-term motivation. It's going to create a compass. It's going to ensure that we're setting up the right training for him to go and have a marvelously rich experience that can hopefully build onto something else, whether it's running or otherwise, but not at the expense of work or how he shows up in broader life. In fact, it's a tool to ensure that he shows up better. You see, my decisions that I make now as we start the next 20 weeks are for his long-term transformation. And he's aligned with me. Now, along the way, we're going to try and give that marathon that's emerging 20 weeks apart as much nurturing and focus as we can to have it be a rich experience. But as soon as he crosses the finish line, and maybe he's had a beer or 2, yes, he does like his beer and that's okay, we're thinking about what's next. Because it hasn't been an anchor in his life. And under this vision, the likelihood of his success are greatly amplified. Because we're thinking long term. We're not ramming a program into life, and we're going on a journey of transformation. And so now he's got a different mindset. Not what do I need to do to get ready for this marathon, in addition to all of the roles and responsibilities for myself as a father and, of course, as a leader. But how do I integrate this stuff into life so that I can transform to that longer purpose? That becomes really powerful. And so relating it back to you, this is the lion's share of what we're talking about here. What can you do now for 2025? The first thing that you can do, take time to define your purpose and vision. It's really important. And then, and this can be sometimes a conversation of conflict, healthy conflict, make sure that you've got alignment with the people that are a part of your journey. So if you're coaching someone, it's not just about telling an athlete what to do. It's having a conversation or a series of conversations until you're shoulder to shoulder, side by side, going in the same direction. And if you're coached, that's the same. If you're a leader, and then you're the coach. If you're an employee, then you're the athlete. It's the same parallel journey, but it's critical. And out of that, once you get alignment, choose your goals. For an athlete, that's your events and races. But pave the way for excitement, for progression towards your longer term vision. That's how you build part 2, the roadmap. Yes, the second thing that you do, part 2, road mapping. Now, this is all part of our coaching model at Purple Patch. How I coach an athlete, how our team of coaches coach athletes, how our broader group of athletes tend to think about it. Number 1, define your vision. What does success look like? Get alignment on that. And then the second critical phase that's similar to what I talked about before is quite often skipped or rushed, road mapping. This is about setting action. It's important. Now, what athletes and a lot of coaches always think about is this is a fun part, road mapping. I get my Excel spreadsheet or I get my Training Peaks little ATP, annual training plan, and I do all sorts of pretty stuff. 3 up, 1 down, 3 up, 1 down, race, 3 up, 1 down, race. It's not that. That looks very pretty, but life is not a spreadsheet. And so it's nice to have a direction of road mapping. But it's much more than this. This is a process in which you are defining your commitments and you are establishing what you are going to focus on, most importantly, what you're not going to focus on, and getting absolute clarity of your actions. There is a prioritization part of this process here. No matter what you're looking to achieve over the course of the coming year, there are way too many things for you to prioritize and focus on if you're going to be successful. There's always 100 things. There's always 25 things. What are the 5 things that are going to take up the lion's share of your focus and your energy? That's what you want to get to in this second phase of the road mapping. It's critical. It is a prioritization exercise. You only have so much willpower, so much energy. Where are you going to place it to drive your performance needle? Now, if you're a part of a coaching journey, whether you're the coach or you're being coached, this part of the process creates your backbone. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is it's your backbone of accountability. Because through this, you're getting, by the outcome of it, you're getting a set of commitments. Yes, this is where I'm going to place my energy. You're getting clarity that can diffuse a lot of stress, and you're removing a lot of confusion. And so when you start doing the doing in the new year, you've got the backbone of accountability. Because if you're committed to action and you've removed the stuff that are going to prove to be distractions, and you've got clarity of where you place your energy, you can hold yourself to account. But also if you're coached, the coach's role is to hold you to account, keep you coming back. And that's how you get the compass. That's how you get the river that you're going to go down. This all emerges from part 1. You can't effectively roadmap unless you have a clear vision of what success looks like. That's the only way you can do it. That's why we start with that part 1. Part 2 is out of that vision, you now create the direction. This is what we are going to do. Now, what I've just done is I've just explained part 1 and part 2 of the Purple Patch coaching model. This is our system. You can draw from this and use any type of model that you like. But you've heard me talk a lot about the importance of coaching before. And I think this discussion here really highlights it. Because if you're coached, this is how you're establishing trust and alignment in the visioning part. You're synchronizing focus and commitment. And then as I talked about, you've got a backbone of accountability. So once you drive into 2025, new year, new you, let's get going. You're like, yeah, let's get going. And you just slowly throttle up the accelerator. And you know what's going to happen over the course of the coming year? Chaos. You're going to have cul-de-sacs of struggle, failure, adversity, setbacks. Things are going to go wrong. Life is not a spreadsheet. That's what a performance journey looks like. It's never linear. But you have here something to come back to, where you can pull your athlete out, or you can help be pulled back into the direction. What's our vision? What's our focus? Where are we driving? And there is also some flex in the system here. By really going through a thorough process of part 1 and part 2, you also are delivering flex. Because sometimes you need to be, what's my favorite word? Adaptable. What I like to say is change able. Because there's always going to be things that we didn't think about. Always. You cannot define and think it's just about checking the boxes. But you need to go through this part of the process now, NOW, vision and road mapping. If you do that, and then you have got flex, you've got the opportunity to make better real-time decisions. But if you fail to do this, then you're just in the weeds. And it's just going to amplify stress, confusion, lack of alignment, mistrust, etc. And that's a big challenge for you.